Fan Frenzy is where we're at. That's right, Fan Frenzy, where the fans take control of the conversation. I've managed to get Tristan slightly on the hop, but he looks calm and collected.
I'm always calm and collected.
Sometimes I can get you, but
I'm a man of many talents.
I'm a little bit too usual. Go on, you start us off.
I will start. I'm going with Royce Peters to begin with. Race ranking at 8 out of 10. 3 to Hulk, 5th in a Sauber. What? It's exactly what we're all thinking. 2 to Leclerc, 7th to 3rd is a bloody good effort. Which it kind of is, Royce. Yeah, I agree with you there. And 1 to Oscar, really proving his pedigree now. Dud of the day. Do you think we can start a petition to get Brittany Rosberg dropped by Sky? Almost muted the TV. Spent the whole race arguing with Crofty again. Yes, Royce, we talked about that in the main pod, and that was my dud of the day.
So many reasons.
Well.
He brings up the fact that he argues with Crofty all through the race. And you're like, yes, he does.
Yes.
It's so annoying. Then someone else brings up something else. You're like, yes, he does that too.
Hyper-aggressive this weekend, too.
It's so annoying.
I just sort of compared it, Royce, to my 4-year-old licking the sugar off a hot jam donut at the lake.
Go to his question.
The next hour is not
He's got a
great.
question
No,
for us.
don't. And Royce...
His question is,
Like,
how is
so
Lando
happy.
sleeping?
And Royce, I'm so happy with your content there, Royce.
You know
Look,
how?
you've got a lot of feedback.
You don't believe me, do
Give
you?
me the
How many
rubbish.
people bring up this segment?
No, but I just...
Would anyone like to take on how's Lando sleeping? Or
Like
do you
it's
want me
in
to
a
go?
segment.
No. Would anyone like to answer that question? It's a question from
it's
our
yours.
listeners.
You're the only person that
Would
can
anyone
answer
like
this.
to have a go?
No, sorry.
Oh, just trying to think of, is he sleeping nice and soundly, knowing that I'm close to Oscar, and all he needs to do is have a really bad night's sleep, and I'm up and amongst it. Here we go.
No.
Oh, so how's he sleeping then, Rog?
He's hiding under his bed, my friends. He is hiding under his bed. Poor old little Lando
With Zach Brown?
is hiding under the bed, and he's yelling out, Zach, I'm scared. Zach, help me. That Oscar, he's attacking me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. How wonderful. What a great question. Thank you.
Come on, Royce, yeah.
Over to you, Shane.
Disappointing.
Jordan Pancratz. So, 3 to Hulk, legitimately passed a Ferrari on track. 2 to Leclerc, solid race, getting up to the podium. And 1 to Piastri, looked fast and in control. Dud of the day, Lewis, so far off Leclerc, and he has no idea why. So, probably won't change anytime soon. Hero of the hour, Max for that save coming out of the last corner. That was pretty cool. And then going full villain mode. There's nothing more entertaining. And he was the driver of the day, so it's got to be worth something, right? Question, who is your ideal long-term replacement for Stroll at Aston Martin?
Before we go to that, Tristan talks about Max getting, like, if Max did that, he'd be in all this trouble. People save those things all the time. The amount of people that gave him credit for saving his little fishtail out of that last corner. It's like, oh, Max, he's done it again. People do it all the time. Look at China. It happens all the time. He gets credit for good driving when it's just not good driving. But anyway, that's just my
Are you
little...
saying that catch in quali was not good driving?
Which one?
Not that's Max's snap?
In China?
No, this round.
Max's snap in China.
Quali.
In
No,
quali.
Qualifying the mass. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry.
No, I'm
Massive
talking about in
loss?
the last corner.
Oh, right,
But
last corner.
no, it's like standard procedure for these drivers. They don't lose it like that. Occasionally, some of the rookies might, but everyone saves those ones. He gets credit. All I'm saying is he gets credit for saving those things when they all do it. Anyway.
Back to Jordan's question. Long-term Stroll replacement.
Long-term Stroll replacement. Oh, I'd love to see Dragovic get a proper go at Formula One.
Yeah.
Get his crack.
I'd like the 1 to 3 year plan, because in business you always talk about 3-year plans and all that sort of stuff. 1 to 3 year plan has to be Dragovic, because he's been there for so long, he just deserves it. We'll call it the 5 to 10 year plan. I'd want Jack Crawford, being British, to be the Aston Martin driver.
Okay.
Like, invest in Crawford, get him in.
Whose program is Crawford part of?
Williams, and he's currently 4th in the F2 standings at the moment. So he's
there's
going
not
too
a
bad.
drive at Williams for him, then, is there? Yeah, not bad. For Dragovic, I mean, the obvious answer, Max Verstappen is the long-term plan. I honestly think Max Verstappen is an absolute shout to get into that team. They're spending all the money. They've got the right people in place.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting too much from them this season. I think that's half the reason Fernando Alonso's so down and out is because he knows it's not happening this season anyway.
I'd be wary on a Williams sort of academy, stablemate coming in, because you look at
you being anti-Williams.
No, I'm just saying. If you look at Colapinto, it's not working. If you look at all the others that have come through...
Colapinto wasn't a Williams driver.
No, I know, but he was there. He's part of the program. I'm just saying. I've heard a bit of buzz about Jack Crawford at the moment. Suddenly he's the flavour of the week, but no.
Okay. Who would you have? Who would you put in?
I think... I don't know. I'm a bit bullish on Dragovic. It's sort of a case of you've been there for a long time. Like, if you're probably good enough... A little bit Liam Lawson-esque. You've been there for a long time. If you're good enough, you've probably already got it, haven't you? So, probably not Dragovic for me. I think you probably just need to go find some experience. I mean, like, you could grab Yuki, you could grab Max. I think experienced candidate is what they need if they're going to have Newey come on board. I don't think Newey's going to want to work with a rookie, and I don't know a rookie and Adrian Newey is a good combination with the skills and what he'll bring to that team. You need someone with nous and experience and the ability to push it into that unknown. So, yeah, I think...
I'm with you on that. Sorry, I was talking Dragovic if he was going to get a few races in this point of time. But yeah,
he's been there for a long time.
I'm with you.
I
would like to see. I'd like to see. I'm interested to see him for a couple of races. But yeah, beyond that, I wouldn't be locking him in. No. Over to you, Sam.
I'll go with Simon Blackburn. He's given a race ranking of 7.5. That's the lowest so far. That's saying a lot about the race. He's given his dud straight off the bat to Max for seemingly taking his frustrations out on George. He's 1 point away from his ban, and it resets after Austria, so we have many rounds until we get to the Austria reset point.
I think we only got 2.
Don't we have 1?
Yeah, Canada and Austria.
Is it Canada then Austria?
Well, you got to get through the 2 races. It doesn't reset at the start of Austria, but he's got to get through those 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
Did Liam Lawson tell you that, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson and I good mates. Someone's got to be his mate. He's given the hero to Antonelli's car failure for giving us the safety car and then obviously the spicy restart. His points go to 3 for Oscar, 2 for Hulk, and then 1 for Leclerc. And then, of course, his question is thinking back to the Vettel on Hamilton through the Baku incident, getting the drive-through penalty. Should Max have received the same, considering what he did to George, looking much worse? Again, I think it's just down to how the telemetry may have looked. Like, if they checked the telemetry and was an obvious ram, then yeah, give him the stop-go like they did to
Vettel on Hamilton, yep. Yep. Which is, that was part of his question. So, yeah, I think it was a stop-go. But, yeah, refer back to the main pod, I think, on that
Pretty
one.
much,
yep. I'll go with Nat. Nat gave it an 8.5, slightly higher than everybody else. 3 to Oscar, controlled the race, so dominant. Biggest pole margin of the year, 8th straight podium. Oh, yeah, 8th straight podium. We didn't mention that on the thing.
3rd McLaren driver in history. The only other 2 are Ayrton Senna and Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, I thought that was drivers in history.
Just
McLaren.
in McLaren history.
Yes,
so
okay.
you had Vettel win 9 races. You had Max win 11.
Oh, yeah, on the trot. Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, Fernando was 2 points. So many great overtakes. I missed them, unfortunately. Hulkenberg, 1 point. Only 1 for Hulk. P5 in the Green Machine. That of the day, Max's tyre strategy, leaving him only on with the hards after the safety car, which contributed to the nightmare restart, and Max's meltdown. What a shocker. Hero of the hour, Max. Same with the clutch up shifting. Okay. That's right. The talk of the 1973. What was I missing with the 1973? It was just he was referring to old cars, and then he was
I think so.
saying no, it's the 74.
Last week he mentioned it in some sort of throwaway
okay. It was
comment.
a bit of a trend. Okay, I was like, it is. It was. I enjoyed the back and forth. I was like, wondered if I was missing anything. Question is, how badly do you want Stroll's recovery time to be a lengthy one so we can see what another driver can do in this car? Would you like to see Stroll out for a little while? That's a horrible thing to say, Nat.
Yeah, Nat.
How could you say something like that about
the medical
Lance?
And no one in our here would mention
we wouldn't wish him ill.
No, you have to be careful because Lawrence might pull his funding for this podcast.
That's right. We rate him very highly. Always have mentioned him. He gets a weekly mention.
That was very cruel.
Yeah.
Very cruel.
The medical professional that looks at people's bones for a living would say that it needs to be casted, which makes it very hard to use a steering wheel.
We should castrate him. I like this. Is that what you just said?
Cast you.
Oh, put him in a cast. Shame.
Plenty of physiotherapy time. Give it plenty of time to heal. Plenty of X-rays to check that
Probably
everything's
needs to go
healing.
to the sun for a bit.
Yeah, vitamin D to boost up his bone density and everything. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Lord-
like
Lord
we on the
So you mean
castration and sending into the sun.
I was thinking, more
Roger's
just
getting
sending
a
him
bit-
to a nice deserted island by himself, but we can launch him into the sun if you'd like. Yes. No, yes, good point, Nat. I would like to see someone else in that seat for a little while, and just, it would be brilliant to see him outshone for a little bit. Imagine if they got more points. Although, mind you, as Shane's been saying, he's performed
Shane.
beautifully this year.
number one ticket holder?
Shane is on board the Lance train.
The points sort of don't lie, do they? At the
They
moment?
do not. They do not.
Anyway.
Good question. Good question. Over to you, Tristan.
I will go with. Sorry, you've thrown me off the list here when you grabbed that real bottom sort of feeder. there.
Well, I got thrown
no,
when
you did too. When all the way
when
down.
Sam went down. I went to the next one in line
I
after
know.
Sam.
That's it. I'll go with Kingsley. Kingsley gave us an 8 out of 10. Lots of really good racing and on the edge driving all weekend. Qualifying was great to watch too.
Was
3 to Hulkenberg. His driving and results in the Sauber was above expectation. Wasn't afraid to get stuck into better cars with the elbows out and was rewarded for his bravery and commitment. Makes you wonder what he could do in a better car, like a Red Bull. A 2 to Oscar, a lesson in how to yell loud and proud that you are absolutely the one to beat without actually saying it in words. 1 to Alonso, finally getting some points this season. Looked like a bit of the Fernando of old with some big ball overtakes. Start of the day, Max. My initial reaction was I thought I was watching a little kid have a tantrum and throw out his toys out of the cot. Yeah, the team stuffed up the tyre strategies, but the incident in the end looked deliberate. Maybe there will be more to come from it later. Hero of the day? Yeah, hero of the day. Hero of the day.
he's getting the Sam territory here, isn't he?
He is getting
Kingsley?
the Sam country.
It's lengthy.
Just hero of the day. You threw me with the D there, an extra, sort of the way it was put together. Lance for finding an exit strategy that doesn't involve his poor driving.
This is his conspiracy theory.
Don't mind that, Kingsley. And a question like we've been talking about, is Aston now in a position to do a clean house driver swap for next season?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 new drivers. Haas-like.
Yep.
We've talked about one driver. Who's the second driver you'd put in there? If you're going to reseat 2 drivers, so you're setting the team up completely. Remember, we're going into brand new regulations. You've got the best aerodynamicist in the world in that team. Mind you, he reckons he's actually running behind time a bit. Who would you put in there if you were Aston Martin? You got to be thinking about who's under contract and those sorts of things.
No, well, the great man's just scored 2 points on the weekend, so he'd be silly to move him out right now.
If you could,
I wouldn't.
Max.
you go for Max, and then who would you sit beside him?
Could you put Max and George in there? Like, are they both up? Like, no, honestly, could you put Max and George in there
with
Adrian?
Lawrence?
With Lawrence and Adrian, far out.
I think the hostage videos would start coming back, wouldn't they?
Wouldn't that be good, eh?
It would be
Charles. Because Charles is probably
Charles.
ready to get out of
Charles is
Ferrari.
going nowhere for a very long
he's
time.
he's their boy.
He's there for the long term. A long term. He's the old.
Like, they've brought in Hamilton, like, to try to show up, Hamilton, blah, blah, blah. So in the back of his mind, he's sort of like, well, I'm not the one they really want to develop.
That's Charles's team. Like, he's
Oh, look,
there
I think
for
he's
a
doing a
long
great
time.
job.
I think that's what Hamilton's sort of referring to too, is that he feels like Charles gets everything from the team, and maybe they're developing it towards his driving. There's been a few little hints from Hamilton recently.
And he's not used to that because Mercedes is his home, and now he's in
that's
someone
right.
else's home, so he has to adjust. So
You're putting George and Max in. No, you're putting Charles in.
Charles. Yeah.
Charles and Max, or Charles and who?
Charles Max.
And Max, who would you put in there if you clean out?
Short swap in Yuki and Dragovic, but once Max's no. Once
Far
Max's
out,
contract
could
is
you-
up, then you bring in the guy you actually want. Because Yuki's going to be put out of contract, and Red Bull will probably try to find any clause to keep Max for the new regulations. So that's why I'm saying sacrificial lamb, Yuki in, because he's Honda.
Well, Yuki's
Honda's
out anyway after this year. So,
Honda's the power unit for
it
the
makes,
Aston Martin.
it makes
so.
sense, other than the fact that you're going to turn you've got rid of an unpopular driver and put in another unpopular driver. But anyway, okay. Yep.
Because otherwise I would have said Bottas, but that's just me being a fanboy through and through. But, because it's now going to become a Honda power unit team, why would you then have Bottas?
Okay, all right. I would be going for Max, doing everything you could to go and get him. I mean, I know they say there's a clause in there. Every clause is made to be broken, isn't it? And beside Max, oh man, you got to develop a car for Max, don't you? I think I'll go and get Science. Even though he's under contract, I think I'll go and try and get Science into that team. Max and Science, I think, is the way forward for them. Who's next?
Me. I'm next. Jason Carter, race ranking of 8. Good mix of strategies and tyre usage to keep things interesting with a sprinkle of safety car excitement near the end. Extra point for the Aussie win. 3 votes to Hulk. Big points lift to his team up the ladder. 2 to Oscar. Great weekend for the Australian. Great weekend and Australian. And 1 vote to Alonso. Not so unlucky. Hero of the hour, Rachel Brooks, for an excellent interview with Max post-race. It must have been a scary prospect for her, but the questioning was excellent and made Max look like a Suki Lala that he is.
Absolutely. I agree.
Dad of the day, Max, for throwing his toys out of the sandpit.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Last week you discussed Stroll was going to leave F1 as he isn't good enough to go out on top.
We're very Stroll-oriented. I like
I
that.
know.
Very strong.
And unlucky to be sacked. Will an injured hand the excuse?
They were looking
Will
for.
an injured hand be the excuse they've been looking
This
for?
is the conspiracy theory. Is this pushing it?
I accidentally telegraphed it, didn't I, by asking that question?
Yeah. There you go.
It'll be interesting to see. I think we've talked about Stroll plenty, haven't we?
Yep.
Over to you, Sam.
I'll take on the Adam Hughes, which he's given a race ranking of 7 out of 10 ordinary, but the Piastri bump is the 10 out of 10. Hey, you call it the Ricciardo bump, he's calling it the Piastri bump. 3 points Oscar, 2 points Hulk, 1 point has to be the driver of the day, Max. Loved every second. Thanks, Adam, for offering a different opinion, man.
I like this.
He's going dud for Red Bull. What was up with that strategy? Dud of the weekend, however, crash a Pinto. Sorry, slower Pinto. Make 17 P17 on the grid is some talent. He has started last in every Grand Prix has been in this year, and Jack Doohan is the only driver from Alpine F1 to outpace Gasly this year, using all the tags as he does. And then, of course, he's asking the same question we've been saying throughout the podcast: who will drive the Aston in the next round?
Well, we haven't actually answered it. Do we think Stroll will get back in the car?
Yeah, he'll be back.
You reckon he'll be back for Canada?
Yeah, he'll be back, yeah.
Hoping not, but yeah.
So hard to tell, isn't it? Yeah.
Very hard.
Do you reckon Stroll will be back for Canada?
Dragovic.
Yeah, I think Dragovic.
Reserve driver has to do something different.
Yep, I'm going to Paige, the wonderful Paige, the best of the Purcells.
Yeah, fair enough.
Purcells. Race ranking of 8 out of 10. Aussie win, dramatic collisions and spicy overtakes. What more could you want? Absolutely. 3 for Hulkenberg, up 7 places, finishing the points. 2 to Alonso, finally breaking the curse. 1 to Piastri is a masterclass start of the day. Aston Martin. What's the point of having reserve drivers if you're not going to use them?
I guess at the time we thought that it was, we didn't realise it was an injury so late.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same
right.
thing. I thought, why hasn't he just pulled out after
I'm with you.
Q3 or Q2?
That's
Yep.
why in the comments I dudded Aston Martin, because it was this whole shrouded thing that, like, why has it happened so late? Like, wouldn't you have known about it? But then
It turns
it's
out
obviously the injury.
he's
Yeah.
probably caused the injury thanks to his shocking temper.
Yeah.
Hero of the day, McLaren pit crew pulling off that double pit stop during a safety car was so smooth. They actually did do a good job of that. Special mention to the guitar quartet who performed the
national
Spanish
anthem.
national anthem. Was I haven't heard from you for a little
I
while.
didn't like it. I didn't like it.
You're big on the.
I'm big on the anthem. It's a good anthem, sets up the race weekend. No, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was
Okay.
weird. It was weird.
It brings on a question.
Yeah.
If what's the one song you wish you could play on the guitar?
Gosh. I can't.
Have you ever played an instrument in your life? Like, have you ever learned something?
but like, my brother's incredibly talented.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
No.
I wasn't asking about him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he
Yeah.
got all of the talent. Like, you're good. Like, you're handy on guitar.
Not anymore. I haven't played for a long time. My
Yeah.
parents can play
Yeah,
music, but
Dad's
not
very
me.
good
Yeah.
at it, No, I can do like hot cross buns on the recorders. I can do Sesame.
What would you like to? What would you like to
I can
play?
do the introduction to Sesame Street on a xylophone.
Oh yeah. There
There's
you
a
go. That's
tip
pretty
for
good.
it.
That's pretty good. It's fun to do
That
something
is
like.
fun, isn't it? No, I don't know. I don't have a song that I would like to play. I'm not used.
What's your favourite? Like, you love a bit of music.
maybe-
What's your
oh,
favourite
geez, I
like
don't know.
riff or song that you've listened to that you would
I
like to
know.
play?
He listens to house and
What do
drum
you
and
What do you
bass.
play
I
the
do
most
like-
air guitar to in the car?
I do.
I play a lot of air guitar these days.
I do like listening to Queen in the car.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do like Queen.
imagine learning some of those
That'd be
riffs.
great. Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Shane, musical?
I'm terrible. Surely you've heard me sing.
I've heard you sing, but
complaints.
this is a guitar. Surely the guitar
I can't play
sound
the guitar.
that
No,
bad.
look at my finger. I mean, look at the fingers.
Oh,
There's no
yeah,
way I can play
that's true.
guitar.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing, Dire Straits would be a pretty cool
Oh,
start.
yeah. It's a great call. They
Yeah.
got some beautiful guitar work in there. Your family's musical.
Yes.
You?
So, sister plays the piano, brother played bass guitar, older sister played clarinet, and then I was a rhythm guitarist, lead guitarist, and did one little bit of drumming for a bit when we had to rotate the band to understand our better positions, like a bit of empathy, guys. So I do know how to play Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. However, it's not how Mark Knopfler actually plays it with palm muting, so I'd like to play that a little bit better.
Jeez, it sounds like you can really play.
Yeah, otherwise I would really like to play Layla by Eric Clapton. That is just this fantastic intro riff. But then otherwise, we just want to learn how to play Faint by Linkin Park. Like a lot of the Linkin Park intros, riffs, breakdowns, everything. They're my favourite band of all time. So if I was able to get my skill back up and everything like that, like that's my short picking list.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I like it. For me, I always wanted to play the banjo.
Yeah.
I would love to play the
suits you
banjo.
perfectly,
I'd
too.
love, my dad plays it and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff, but I'd like to play the banjo the Mumford and Sons way, whereas my dad says that's not real banjo playing, Roger, so get your eyes off that. And then, if I could learn the banjo, I'd learn some Mumford and Sons songs,
Yeah,
I think. But,
that's
anyway. Great question. Nat says she'd always want to do classical gas on guitar.
Fantastic.
Anyway, great question. I like the ones that are a little bit out there. Have we missed any?
No, that's everyone this week.
We've nailed it,
That's
have
everyone.
we?
Thanks,
Look
everyone.
at us go. We've got now. Before we leave,
Yes.
these gentlemen have got some segments.
Segments. Hey, thanks to Paul Cook too for the feedback on Fan Frenzy. I'd like to know if you're liking the time it goes up, Paul.
Oh,
You
yes.
you said put up straight up, and I have
Oh,
been.
now Paul was asking me because Paul's question's been not getting there. Was it Paul's asking me? Now I'm asking.
Someone asked the other week. We haven't had a hidden post this week.
Well,
I'll
no,
just have a look.
but I could not find it.
Yeah.
We actually had someone ask last week, and I couldn't find the hidden post even.
You got to clear the hidden on your phone. But anyway, thanks to Paul. No question from Paul though. Oh,
Okay,
so-
yeah, interesting. Rightio, we've got two segments. I'm excited. Shane, what's your segment?
It's almost like value for money drivers.
Oh yes.
So, I've just
Well, that's a Dire Straits song, isn't it?
Money for Nothing.
Money for nothing.
Points
yeah.
for nothing, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah, so-
yes, I like it.
So I went through a couple of websites to try to find driver salaries, and I found a couple that basically matched up. And there was only one glaring difference, and that was Oscar's salary, but I'll get to that later. So I'm going to annoy Tristan. I'm going to go in an order.
Oh my god.
That's good.
Okay, and I'm going to
That's
start at
good.
the bottom.
It's your show. You're
But I
right.
wouldn't mind predictions
I
of
like.
who's the best and worst value for money so far
Okay.
this year. So far this year.
So paid.
And take
to them.
out the people that haven't scored points, so there's no border
It would have to be.
Hang on. Say what?
So taking out the people that haven't scored money.
Oh,
it's
because that's
pretty hard to
easy
do.
answer.
because
Well,
it's
yeah.
zero.
Zero.
Okay.
You're dividing.
Alonso's the worst value.
Okay, Alonso.
Kimmy will be Kimmy will be the best value.
Hadjar will be the best value.
And
I don't know. What about Lewis for worst value? Because if he's got just this extraordinary salary,
60
Even
million
though he's
apparently.
done relatively well.
60 million? He
This is
apparently
true.
on US,
Oh.
US
so
dollars.
I'm going to outside bet. So Lewis's worst value, best value,
He's still picked up a fair few points, hasn't
He
he?
has.
best value. Is it now probably Hulk? Because of what
could
he's
be.
just pulled off.
Could be, yeah.
Okay, so the way it goes,
You-
and
you
it's
keep
like
it, man, I reckon,
points
worst value.
points per $1 million. Points per $1 million.
Okay.
So the bottom, in 18th place, Fernando Alonso.
Yes! I
Damn
nailed
it.
it.
He
What
is
a
getting-
loser.
But
They're saying he's
you worked
this-
this out before the round. Is
No,
that
I
too-
didn't,
No,
because
he's
he's got
doing it-
points. He's actually in it. If
Not
he
yet.
hadn't have got points.
Now I know what the round table is for today.
No, I did this after work, actually, after our inspiring meeting. I come home, I was more inspired. So he's picked up 2 points, obviously, at $20 million, so it's 0.1. He gets 0.1 of a point per $1 million.
That's smart by him.
What a
in
loser.
That's smart.
In 17th, Pierre Gasly.
Oh, really?
Only 1.1
How much
points.
money is he on then?
Saying he's on 10 million,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's only picked up your 11 points. So
Oh, yeah.
1.1
Okay.
point per million.
God, I can't believe that's second worst.
16th, Lewis at
Oh, there you go.
1.18.
Good call.
Yeah, 1.18. Carlos in 15th
Oh, yeah.
at 1.2.
Okay. How much do they say in Carlos is on? I'm
Is
interested.
they saying 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
10 million US. Max at 14.
Wow.
He's on 65 million.
Wow.
So it works out at 2.11.
There you go.
Nico in 13th at $7 million. He's only picked up 16 points, so at 2.29.
Mm-hmm.
Charles in 12th at $34 million salary. He's at 2.76.
Okay. Yep.
Then we move to Esteban in 11th spot. He $7 million income, and he's 2.86 with his 20 points.
20 points for Ocon already this year.
I don't think I've ever heard. Side note: I don't think anyone has ever referred to Ocon as Esteban. I've never heard anyone.
Yes. It's a cool name.
10th place, Liam Lawson. Now they're saying he earns $1 million, and he's got 4 points, so he's getting 4 points per $1 million.
See,
Yeah.
the blokes at the bottom are the smartest ones because they're getting a lot of money and they
Not
don't have to
doing
do
much.
anything. So
Now these two websites said that Lance Stroll is getting $3 million.
$3 million.
Bullshit.
So
Yeah.
Lance Stroll is in
pocket
ninth
money
spot.
for washing the car.
He's 4.67. Like he's far eclipsing his value compared to his teammate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yuki.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Yuki at $2 million income apparently is at 5 points per
Okay.
million.
Okay. How many points did he had?
10 points.
Didn't realise he was that many in already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex is at 7th with 5.25.
Yep.
Then Ollie Behrman, $1 million income at 6 points, so $6 million, 6 points per million. George is in 5th. Now, they're saying he only earns 15 million, so he's at 7.4. Now, Lando comes in at 4th on his value of $20 million. He's at 8.8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, third is Kimi. He's at 24 points per million.
That's
$2
pretty
million.
good going. Yep.
Now, Isaac, I had a bit of trouble with this one because both sites had him at earning between 500,000
Ah, yeah.
and 1 million, so I went in the middle. So I went at
Yep.
750,000.
I like that.
He's getting 28 points
Whoa,
per million,
value.
which leaves us with one driver,
Oscar.
Oscar.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
Why is he
He
leading
scored the
every
most
championship?
points.
well, this is where there's a bit of a controversy because this is the only difference in price these two sites had.
Yeah.
One of them had him at 6 million earnings.
That was his past earning.
Well, it said for 2025, so whether he started the year at that and
true.
then changed it.
Maybe, yeah.
So that put him at 31 points per million. But the other site had him at 25 million, which is actually 5 million more than...
So I thought they put him on the exact same as Lando.
Well, that would have dropped him at 20. But so
Yep.
even at 25 million, he comes in at 7.44
which would
points,
have him
which
sort
drops
of
him at 6.
bit more mid. Yeah.
No, that
Ah.
drops him at 6 spots.
Okay.
So there you
Yep.
go.
Say Antonelli was on
20, he's on 2 million.
2, yeah.
$2
Okay.
million,
So I thought you
so-
said 23 million. Sorry.
No,
that's-
2 million. And so he's earned 24 points per
sorry,
million dollars.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't listening to you. But
So the best value for money, according to this, Oscar or Isaac, and the worst, Fernando.
No surprises there.
smartest.
Smart. yeah.
So that's my
That's a
points
very
per
U
value.
type. That's a U type salary. If we were like getting salary for doing stuff, you'd be getting paid a lot. And then I could see you just putting your feet up and delegating. You're a great delegator. You'd be going, Sam. Sam.
What do you think I'm doing
That's
here?
what I know you do.
Yes, that's right. Wonderful. I'll tell you what, segments are coming in thick and fast. Talk about value for money.
Segment. Yeah.
Remind me the
Segments
last time
per-
you brought something.
I brought you a
It's
segment 2
1.5.
weeks ago that pretty much absolutely bullied Shane for a good
It was
15
nicknames,
minutes.
wasn't it? Was
Yeah,
that
it was
nickname?
great.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic
Okay.
segment. You loved it.
Okay.
F1.5.
Now tell me, Sam, you've got 2 segments up your sleeve at the moment. Which one are you going to run with?
Well, the one that you asked for, which is checking on friends.
Okay.
Because we actually had a Formula E round that was relatively close.
Where was it?
Shanghai, actually at the circuit. So
okay.
pretty much they ran Sector 1, where it's actually the really good part of Shanghai that I like. Then they cut just before the Sector 2, so you don't have to do that really long straight that you top out the car at. And then you just sort of sneak back around just in the corner where Alex Albon spun out all those years ago on the final corner.
And how did it go? What's that track layout like?
It was really good for racing. Do we still not like Fan Boost because it's an absolute gimmick and a shit show? No. But was it actually a really good Formula E race in the rain? Yeah, it actually was. So
In the rain, they didn't short out.
No.
I've never heard really good and Formula E race in the same race.
I know. I actually watched the full race, which is strange. So
Really? I can't
Where was
wait
the overtaking zones if they didn't have the long straight?
Pretty much because it was all in the wet. It was like people skittling out, or you're overtaking through this turn 1 to 4 complex. Because they had the activation for attack mode on the outside, which is one of the Formula 1 lines for overtaking
Did
as
you have
well.
to get out your game controller to do that activation?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just press the X button and
I see.
Can't
They've
wait.
got more wheel
Can't
cover,
wait.
haven't they? They've got more.
They have,
of the-
yeah.
So that would
Yeah.
have made it easier to drive in the rain, like less spray.
Less better
Yeah.
vision.
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah,
but I
vision?
think it makes it actually harder.
Not
for,
harder, sorry,
yes,
but more vision.
Better vision, yeah.
but not
Okay.
so much of a top speed to fling water in the air. But we're checking on friends, not on tyre.
Oh, yeah, we're not
water
banging
coverage.
out Formula E. That's a good point. Thank you, Sam.
we just
Before we
don't
go
like
in
it,
this, Sam,
so-
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
the Monaco.
We are back.
The
on.
Monaco.
No. They raced recently.
Monaco?
Oh, this is a real bugbear.
We've gone back.
Okay, sorry. For Nat,
Nat just
Monaco.
turned off.
Monaco,
Sorry, Nat.
lap time comparison. Do they run the same track? Because Formula E just raced there recently, didn't they? Were
Yes.
they-
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks before, I think.
What's the...
They've
Yeah,
gone
speed.
back to the full layout because initially they cut it just before. Where was it? They cut it just before they were meant to go uphill, so they sort of go downhill, miss the tunnel section and everything, and then go around the back. So really just swimming pool. But their full lap time is only about 5-6 seconds off, so they're running almost at F2, F3 speeds.
Okay.
Because they've got all the torque, they can just bottle the torque and go for it. And when do you ever get up to your top speed?
They actually had some overtakes too
Yeah.
in their race there. So
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, Sam.
yep.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty valid question, but we're not here to say switch to Formula E. This is a Formula One podcast by
Well,
fans for
What
fans.
do we care? They're not paying us. You switch away wherever you like. Just I won't be joining you.
Pretty much. Alrighty, so Pascal Wehrlein, as we know, is our Sauber
It's a fun
and
name to say, Pascal Wehrlein, isn't
Wehrlein, Verlein, depending
yep,
on how
yep.
German you are.
Yep.
He's currently driving with Tag Heuer Porsche, and he finished second in China, which was actually really well done by him. Mm-hmm. Jean-Eric Verne, who was a Toro Rosso driver, so those sneaky Red Bull Academy drivers just popping up out of nowhere, he finished fifth with DS Penske. So Penske
Overall,
Motors-
have we got overall results for where these guys are sitting in the championship? No, we don't.
no.
That's okay. Sorry, keep going. Yep.
We're going to go to Stoffel Van Dorn, our main man from Aston Martin, who's one of the reserve drivers. He finished seventh with Maserati, but as we know, he was with McLaren during the Fernando Alonso days with GP2 engine when it was the Honda days. Lucas de Grassi, who was with Virgin Racing, he finished ninth with Lola Yamaha, two brands that you would never think to correlate on a Formula E car, but here they are. Nick De Vries, our friend from AlphaTauri, finished 12th with Mahindra. And, of course, another oldie, so Sebastian Buemi, who was previously with Renault.
And with Toro Rosso?
And with Toro Rosso, so another Academy driver that just sort of pops in there every so often. He finished 18th out of the possible 22 races.
Okay.
But as I said, it was a wet race where people were sliding off and doing all sorts of silly things. So
It wasn't necessarily indicative of their overall pace. Do we see challenges for the race win in this wet race?
yeah, in the end, who was it that actually came first? Somebody that wasn't a Formula One driver. But in the end, with how they've got to conserve, but actually they do have recharging. So you pull into the pits, they put in a fast charger, so it's like refueling, and they can juice you back up. They actually do. That's what the Gen 3 cars were designed for. So Gen 1, that's the one that you always bag out. They had to jump between cars.
That was
So that's-
hang on, whoa.
So we got
I don't
generations.
only bag them out. I bag them all out equally, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Gen 2 were the ones that could run the full race,
Yep.
but they had a race that would go for 45 minutes. So it's sort of like save your charge up until 45 minutes and then just dump it and go as soon as you're on the last lap. And now we're up to Gen 3 where they've got fast charges, but at the same time they have a nominated amount of laps. So it's proper racing.
Talk me through a fast charge. So you pull in and you got to get your iPhone charger in the
Yeah,
back.
make sure it's the right way up and everything.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
it actually
Yeah.
plugs. It actually plugs into the back of it.
Does it?
So
Well, there's no exhaust or anything, so you've
Yeah.
got space for it. Yeah.
no, you're not going to plug it.
And
into
how
the
long are they
driver's seat.
plugged in for? There
You
is
can-
fascination. I've got genuine fascination around this.
Because you can plug it in for as long as you want to, but it's a fast charger, so it doesn't get you back up to 100%. But the longer you're in the pits, obviously you're losing more time to people that are still out and probably conserving
So
battery.
what's
They can't get a coffee.
around around about how long are they sitting still?
So you can, I think some of them are up to like 10, 12 seconds.
Okay. Are tires swap overs as quick as Formula One, or is that
No,
a bit longer?
no tire swaps because the
Oh,
buggers are so heavy that if you had them on jacks, it'd just be impossible. So they're
road tyre.
they're like an all-weather.
It's just a car tyre.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Michelin road tyres essentially. So they use the same tyres for wet and
So the
Dry
only
race.
purpose of a fuel stop is to recharge.
pretty much.
Pit stop, yeah, is to
Yeah,
recharge.
well, the old days where there were no pit stops. Like you just sort of
Yep.
kept out on track until you crash. Oh, if you crash, you
ran
need a
out
new
that
wing. Yeah.
Or short out, yeah. Yep. Oh, there you go. Interesting.
So, I suppose Tristan wants a checking on friends with Le Mans, seeing as that's coming up.
Yeah, you probably could do that, couldn't you?
Have we got many? Have we got many going over to Le Mans?
You'll have a couple.
Dragovic, well, if Dragovic doesn't get Stroll's car,
I wonder if there's any like real old races going to Le Mans.
When's Seb doing the
Jensen
Mans? 'Cause I
does
think- Yeah, JB does it with Joe.
Yeah.
I wonder when Seb
Oh
was.
yeah,
'cause he
so there
was-
might be a few in there. Cool, lovely. Thank you very much. I won't understand a word you say about Le Mans because there's all the different categories, which confuses the hell out of me. But yeah, there you go. Excellent. Thank you very much, lads. Segments are going well. Yeah, like we said in the main body, the next one will be Canada, and we'll have more coming after Canada. Goodbye now.